Welcome back to Textron Unplugged. My name is Cassandra Chen, and today we have Liran Tal.
Correct. Hey, Cassandra. How are you doing?
Doing well. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Liran. I'm a developer advocate at Snyk, which basically means I enjoy teaching developers about security. So application security topics and stuff like that, how to write secure code.
Can you talk a little bit about how you do security education?
Yes. So there's like several ways of doing that, whether you like teaching developers at conferences or events or just having, fun workshops. Um, I think specifically having fun is like a really good trait of doing it. So, for example, I would say if we are making it like a fun, like giving them like a puzzle to solve to developers related to security, they actually like really connect to it. And so in security, there's this game called like Capture the Flag, which comes obviously from like the gaming aspect of it. So you essentially try to like maybe hack a system and get the flag, get something in the system. So I find that developers and like probably a lot of people as well, just like find that like a fun activity, like an escape room, trying to figure out to bunch of activities and trying to like access the system in different ways. So like that's one way of us doing security.
You mentioned hacking. Normally we think of security as a good thing and hacking as a bad thing. So, how are the two related?
A good thing or and a bad thing for security? I would say good security is often invisible. That's kind of like the curse of security because like until you get hacked, until like something bad happens, you really like don't know, right? It's kind of like invisible. So until you get hacked, until there's like a data breach, until something goes wrong, like security is invisible. No one can like pay attention to it. So that aspect is maybe like the bad part of it.
Why do we want to teach developers how to hack?
How to hack. I think putting them on a space where they know how to hack, like they understand how an attacker mindset works, in those kind of like CTF games, we kind of like give them an appreciation to why writing secure code, why like using secure practices when they write code, when they ship production apps is important because they can see how sometimes easy it is or how sometimes the mistakes are made in a simpler way, to like that they shouldn't have done that before.
So, you really understand why security is important when you hack the code yourself.
I think it gives you one perspective. Yes.
Are there any other ways that you teach security which you find interesting?
Um, well, I think they're all somewhat related to gaming. So, for example, there's like a cards game. So, if you like, I've been to one recently actually in Vegas in DEF CON. There was Git Guardian was a company was like sponsoring one of the booths there. And what they had is this secrets game. So, you get a card, like a physical deck of cards. They all have secrets in them. You don't know what is an actual true secret and what is not, and you have to like filter it pretty fast, like also like win and like get on the leaderboard. And you can like sometimes make a mistake and you think something is a secret and really it's not, or the other way around. And so I think like those kind of like activities around like having a game, having something fun to do it is a fun way of teaching it.
For these games, are they targeted at a certain age of developers?
No, definitely not. I think some may require some kind of like pre-experience, like understand the concept, but like secrets is like very shallow, like understanding. Like I think any age, any experience level is relevant.
So, do you think that even older developers can benefit from learning security?
Oh yeah, I think everyone can benefit from knowing security, application security, and information security. Everything in and around it is just sometimes so far away from reach because we're like focused as developers to just like, get on the backlog, get bug fixes, get features done, and all the other cross-cutting concerns like security, like sometimes performance and testing and those kind of things get kind of like, trickle down because they're not as important, but it is, and everyone can win from it.
Can you think of any specific security incidents where
So many. I don't know. The recent one was, I think, much in the news. Was the XZ utils. That was an interesting kind of like crossroad of several things happening. So potential like nation state actors, like a very major incident in which an open source package, a library that is installed on like regular computer systems, gets someone else, malicious actors, to kind of like play a key role in there and potentially like slip in backdoors and trojans, and that kind of like integrates a lot of things, both like how open source works, the importance of libraries and like ownership for that, CI/CD practices, supply chain security. There's like a lot that goes into it, and that story alone could like pivot into different education parts that we could better empower developers, like understand how to kind of like practice in a more safe way for the ecosystem.
And have you always been in the security space? Like, do you feel
No, I'm actually a developer gone into teaching developers about security because I kind of like care about security. But my background is totally not security. It is has been being a developer myself. So kind of like transitioning into enjoying security to a lot of to a good extent, writing about it. Being able to like talk to my colleagues about security aspects and practices when you are building our apps. And I think like anyone can transition into a security space.
so? Do you think things have been more fun since you transitioned to security?
This job has been more fun in general doing that. Yes.
Going back a little further, like, how did you get into technology?
Um, it's I don't know if it's a regular path, but I've been my dad was like in and around computers back then when I was a kid. Which is like 94 5 or so. So he was really kind of like building apps in like what would be an Excel back then for his business, and I was just spending a lot of time in front of the computer doing a lot of things, and I think my surroundings were basically around that. So I kind of like got into computers, and the moment I was kind of like learning basic QBasic editor thing, like building my own programs was like very satisfying that I could actually do that. So um, that really got me hooked onto computers, and from there, I kind of like knew that all I wanted to do was basically work on software development all day. So whatever the kind of like the journey it took, school, work experience, whatever that was, just turning into tech has been kind of like what I was envisioning it from childhood.
I think it's a lot of fun that computers let you create things.
Yes, I think that's the key aspect of it, being able to create something sometimes out of nothing.
And at this conference, are you giving a talk?
Yeah, just in an hour actually, so it's gonna be fun, I hope.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about what your talk is about?
What is this? It's much related to less obvious security fun games. I am basically going to tell developers how, even though these days there's a lot of hype around AI in generative AI, ChatGPT, coding assistants in their integrated development environments, then why having that is actually sometimes a security concern. So my talk is going to have like live hacks and demos of the coding assistants, auto-completing and suggesting vulnerable code that we could exploit. And I think until developers like see that in practice, they sometimes don't even think about it. So that's gonna be my ambition, to show them how bad things can happen as well. So they have like the mindset of more responsible person when they work with AI.
I think it's an interesting topic because AI is really popular and we're like training developers to use Copilot.
Yes, I would say, I don't know, training developers is one thing. I think we're kind of like going into a de facto state where we're having so having a Gen AI tool like a coding assistant is not, I think, inherently bad. We use them, and that's gonna be, I think, the future. There's no denial for that. But I think the way that we make use of that technology and the amount of responsibility we apply to it is going to be a decisive factor in terms of what is the quality of the end product that we produce as developers at the end of the day. And I think that is something that needs a bit more kind of like awareness and education onto what could potentially go wrong.
I think that's really important.
I think so too.
I think we've had a really good talk today, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Cassandra.